Good morning, Mr. Moseki.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Even though I don't usually greet the council being led, good morning to you too. Thank you. And good morning, Deputy Commissioner Spies.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just for the record, we need to clarify that Commissioner Spies, who's testifying today, did testify before this commission, and his last testimony was on the 11th of November 2025. But he was testifying in relation to the events and incident relating to a Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Department. And today it is not a continuation of that. He comes under a completely separate stream, which is what we refer as the Tshwane Metropolitan Police Department. He has since retired, and it was recorded then when he came before the commission that, in fact, when he testified before this commission in November, already he had retired from EMPD and now deployed by the TMPD.
February 2025, I think.
That is correct.
Yes.
And he started the SAT on the 2nd of March.
March
2025.
2025.
Yes, so just so that we are clear that it's not a continuation. We try to label his annexures as well to avoid any sort of confusion as to that testimony. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Moseki. I've forgotten now whether you saw or you affirmed.
Sworn, Commissioner.
Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, Commissioner Spies. Again, could you just formally put your name on record?
My full name is Revo Spies.
Thank you. Commissioner, you will see that you should have before you 4 white files. There should be 2 big ones and 2 small files. Can you confirm that?
Correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. Before we deal with the contents of those files, can you confirm that you have prepared a statement and submitted one to this commission so that it can be used in your testimony?
Correct. I have prepared a statement relating to the Tshwane Metro Police portion, and I have submitted it.
Thank you. May we then go to file 1 of 4? It's one of the smaller files. And you will see on the index there, it lists a document, statement of Revo Spies. Do you see that, Commissioner Spies?
Correct.
And then you will see that if you flip over, and the last page to that document will be page 19.
That's correct.
Do you see that? Do you confirm that this is your statement that you submitted for consideration by the commission?
Yes, I confirm that that is my statement.
Is your copy signed, Commissioner? And what about yours, Mr. Moseki?
Yes.
Ours are not.
Yes, Chair, that's the next question that I want to put to the witness. The statements to answer you, Chair, they are not signed.
Yes.
And I want to put to the Commissioner, is this a statement that you intend on signing as reasonably as possible, confirming the contents of that statement?
Correct. I've signed my own version, but mine is at home. But the bundle version, I'm prepared to sign them now as well.
Thank you, Commissioner. And lastly, you confirm the correctness of your statement there too.
I confirm the correctness thereof.
Thank you. Can we then go to the actual statement? You will see that from paragraph 1 to 6, you deal with the introduction, and the education and career background. Could you perhaps read these contents into the record? And just highlighting your history of service as set out in these paragraphs.
May I just intervene and ask, Commissioner, besides you joining Tshwane Metropolitan, or rather the Tshwane Metropolitan Police Department, is there anything new to what you would have given us when you testified earlier?
New in terms of my previous testimony.
I'm saying in addition to what you already told us about your career advancement or progression, besides your move to Tshwane, is there anything else that is new?
No, Commissioners, maybe just a misconception that it could be a misconception, but I officially retired.
No.
And then I started, but there's nothing else in my career that changed.
I'm not there at all. I'm just trying to say perhaps we don't need to go over this because we already have your details.
It's exactly the same.
Yes, I think you can then proceed to 6 years, to paragraph 6.
That's correct, Chair.
Yes.
Then you will see Commissioner Spies under paragraph 6. The heading there will be the responsibilities that you have now at TMPD. Can you deal with that together with paragraph 7 there too?
Correct. Commissioners, I've been appointed in the City of Tshwane Metro Police from the 1st of March as the Deputy Chief of Police for Asset Protection and Security Services. It's a division within the Metro Police and serves under the Chief of Police, Commissioner Yolanda Faro. My main functions and responsibilities is to exercise control over this division, and in this division itself, I am accountable for the physical security and technical systems, the operational support around the technical systems and the physical security, and then physical guard services. The difference between 6.1 and 6.3 when we deal with physical security is that we operate a hybrid system, meaning that we have in-house security, which is on the payroll of the city. It is security officers employed by the city. There are 1,270 of those guards, and then there's a contracted portion, which is to 22 service providers, which I will deal with later. That is contracted services who's deployed through the 7 regions. Part of this division, that contracted services, there is a tender in place with the number TMPD 02 2016-2017. And I do understand that this falls within the Commission's subject matter, and it deals with the physical guarding of the city where it's contracted services. That tender itself, as the number indicate, obviously originate from the 2016-27 municipal financial year. So when I testify about that tender, it's about the historical context of it, what I've determined and learned in my 1 year, I've just over a year's service now.
Thank you, Commissioner Spies. Perhaps I should bring to your attention that in the past 3 days of the commission, we had Sergeant Nkosi testifying and touching base on some of the tenders that form an integral part of your testimony. So the commissioners at least have been part informed of the issues relating to those tenders, and they might want to interrupt and ask you questions as they understood it, the terms of those tenders during the testimony of Sergeant Nkosi. But I'm not limiting you to what you would like to share with the commission when it comes to these tenders, but just take heed of that caution. Can we then, with that said...
Just before you move to the next section, Commissioner Spies, Chair asked you if there was anything you wanted to add since your last testimony. Your testimony focused on your stint as a Deputy Chief of Police at Ekurhuleni. I just want to understand, at Tshwane, are you on contract? So is it a 3-year contract? What exactly is the situation as far as your employment is concerned?
No, Commissioner. At Ekurhuleni, I was appointed as a Section 56 contract employee for a period of 5 years, which I took early retirement.
Yes.
However, in August 2022, a new government gazette was regulated where only employees that directly report to the city manager as accounting officer is considered or deemed to be Section 56. So when I was appointed in the city of Tshwane, I was appointed as a permanent employee till I reached the compulsory retirement age of 65 years. So I'm now a permanent employee with a performance contract, but not with an employment fixed-term contract.
So it's not a 5-year situation that existed?
No, it's not that. It's a permanent contract that I've been employed with until I reach the retirement compulsory age of 65.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moseki.
Thank you. Commissioner Spies, can we then speak to the contents of paragraph 8 and 9 of your statement?
Commissioners, the tender TMPD 2 2016-2017, that is for the supply of physical security to protect the property assets and the personnel of Tshwane Metropolitan Municipality. This tender originates from what we call a TAR. It's a tender advertisement request form, which was issued at that stage in 2016-20 by a director, Chukudu Malachi. He was the director of the protection services, and this TAR was issued on 8 July 2016. At that stage, it was co-signed by the then Deputy Chief of Police, Specialized Services, Mr. R.R. Mashlaule. And on 19 July 2016, this was approved by the then Chief of Police, Mr. K.S. Nkubeni. I'm also attaching that specific TAR as RS21 as a reference.
Thank you. Chair, you will see that the witness is referring to RS21. However, Chair, the way I intend dealing with some of these annexures is that because the tender was adjudicated years ago, it is not necessary for us to dwell into that and also consider what irregularities might or might not have occurred. We don't think it's relevant. However, when we come to the most relevant annexures, I will take the witness there, Chair. With that said, Mr. Commissioner Spies, I would still, Chair, though, insist that some of the names that appear, especially from different tender committees, be mentioned because they become relevant at a later stage. Thank you, Chair. Then, Commissioner Spies, can we then pick it up from paragraph 10 of your statement?
In the original TAR, there was a proposed bid specification committee which the department then proposed, which stated that these members are Director Racheku, Director N. Musa, Commissioners Sibaya, Mr. Faik Alexander, and Mr. Peter Robinson. However, when these bid specifications were serving at the initial bid specification committee on Monday, 1 September, the committee members that actually did the BSc, it was not the same as the bid specification committee nominations. So the members in paragraph 11 then is the actual members who approved the bid specification of this tender. And they were Mr. Kes Matlapeng, he was a director at the Tshwane Metro Police, he was the chairperson. Mr. Vusi Nkuna, which is indicated as the Director Land Invasion. Mr. Sipu Nkomo, Director Tshwane Metro Police. Mr. Faik Alexander, who's from Supply Chain Management, is Director Secretariat Services. And Mr. Peter Robinson, Group Legal Deputy Director for the Corporate and Council Legal Compliance.
I assume, Commissioner, that everything you tell us in connection with this tender before you joined TMPD's information gleaned from documents or records within the Tshwane Metro.
Correct, Commissioner. The names that is here is obviously, as I was appointed, I started to collect the tender, the award letters, the bid specification committee so that I do understand the tender that we currently are operating under. So when I read these names, it is from bid specification committees, agendas and minutes that I read the names.
All right.
I obviously, some of the names I do know because they still work for the department. Some of the names, I don't know them at all.
Just names, you don't know the people. All right. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you,
Yes, Mr. Moseki.
Thank you, Chair. You may continue, Commissioner. I think you were at paragraph 12 now. You're
12.
approaching there. Yes.
Part of the process of a bid specification committee and all the committees thereof, the bid specification, the bid evaluation and the bid award committee, is that every member must sign and make under oath a declaration that they have no interest in the tender. So all of the declarations is then in a reference RS23, a bundle where all the declarations are as combined as one bundle or one reference. This tender was advertised on 30 September 2016, and then it was eventually evaluated by 2 bid evaluation committees. And I'll deal later with why 2 bid evaluation committees. But the first bid evaluation committee was a Mr. Moloko Racheku, who was the chairperson, Mr. Chukudu Malachi, Mr. Vusi Nkuna, Mr. Malusi Mashlanga, and Mr. Murutsi Mpashlele. So, and this is why I say I've read the documents. It's not that I do have personal knowledge of this, because there seem to have been irregularities with the first bid evaluation process. Because on 24 January 2017, a report was submitted to the Executive Adjudication Committee by Mr. Tembeka Mpefu, in which irregularities during the first BEC were detected. It was then recommended that the entire process be restarted. And in this regard, I've attached that actual letter as well from Mr. Mpefu. In that report, it stated that this first BEC committee, as in paragraph 14, they removed all the bid documents of all the tenderers from the supply chain management premises to an unknown venue at Premos. Premos to us is the Tshwane Leadership Academy in Pretoria West. And later, when they finished with the evaluation, they returned the documents, and then there were missing documents, which makes it irregularity. And at that same time, he also stated that one of the BEC supply chain members resigned from the BEC due to irregularities he experienced. And that is from Mr. Mpefu's report that he submitted to the Executive Adjudication Committee, with a request that this tender be cancelled and restarted.
Mr. Moloko Racheku in 14.1, is it the same person as Director Racheku in 10.1?
Correct. And then obviously the decision was made at the bid adjudication that this tender be cancelled and start afresh because of irregularities that was mentioned in it. However, one of the bidders, Lebele Lang Mashlatsi Trading Pty Ltd, they approached the High Court in Gauteng with a case number of 32325 of 2017. And Justice Fabricius on 24 May 2018 directed that this tender may not be cancelled, it must be re-evaluated afresh, and the same order of the Justice Fabricius also extended the validity of this procurement process by another 90 days. In compliance with this order, a second BEC committee was then appointed to evaluate the tender afresh. This 90-day period is that when a tender is advertised, it normally will have an initial 90-day period that it must be concluded within. So this period is obviously been passed, and that's why the judge then made the ruling that that period be extended to start the process afresh for evaluation only. And then the second BEC committee members which were then appointed was a Mr. Chris Tipe, who was the chairperson, and he was the divisional head of Treasury Department. Mr. Mtubeli Kolisa, he was the group head of Environment and Agriculture Management. Mrs. Verusha Morgan, who was the group head Property. Mr. Kwena Nkoko, group head Health. Mrs. Nosipu Slachwayo, the group head of City Strategies and Organizational Performance. and a Pamela Rakulele Ngabutle, who was the Deputy Director Demand in Supply Chain Management. This committee, after evaluation, it appears that they again resolved that the tender be cancelled due to irregularities during the bid evaluation process, still linked to the original missing tender documents, which were deemed to be highly irregular. And at that stage, the group of 22 companies that were originally proposed to be awarded the tender approached the court again. And then a Ladyship Justice Molopo Setosa issued a court ruling on 22 October 2021 that the tender be awarded to the 22 companies, and the city must enter into a service level agreement with this list of companies. And for that matter, it is listed the court ruling as RS25. And then based on that court ruling, the city drafted the SLAs, and the tender then officially commenced on 1 March 2022 with this list of 22 companies that was awarded in the ruling by the court.
Commissioner, would you please look at file 4? I want you to read the contents of Annexure RS25 into the record. So it will be this, it's a smaller file. It's file 4 of 4, and then I refer you to page 945.
I confirm that that is the court order that was issued by Her Ladyship Justice Molopo Setosa.
Yes, can you just read at least the first paragraph on that page? So paragraph 1, it actually spills over to the second page.
Sorry, must I read the order into the record?
Yes, please.
By agreement between the parties, it is ordered that 1, the respondent's decision to cancel tender TMPD 02 2016-17 is substituted with the following decision. 1.1, tender TMPD 02 2016-17 is awarded to the applicant and such other bidders who 1.1.1 were recommended for the supply of physical guarding services to protect council property and personnel of the City of Tshwane for a period of 3 years at variable amounts as reflected in paragraph 20 of the report of the Bid Evaluation Committee at page 003-93 of the case lines record, and 1.12 are registered with the Private Security Industry Regulation Authority as at the date of this order. 2, the respondent is ordered to conclude service level agreements with the aforesaid bidders, which agreement shall detail the agreed services to be delivered, how such a service is measured in the provision thereof, and the response time required for such a service. The respondent is ordered to pay the applicant's cost, save that the cost of the day in respect of 21 October 21 will be taxed on the unopposed scale.
Thank you, Commissioner. Just to be clear, okay.
Before you move on. Morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
In that paragraph 19, the very last line where you say the council then started the tender on March 2022, paragraph 19 of your statement,
Yes, Commissioner.
when you say it started the tender, you mean implementation
Correct,
of
Commissioner.
that tender, not a new tender process.
No. It's because of the court order on 22 October, it took a while for the corporate and legal to design and create the service level agreements. And then the service level agreements and the contracts and everything was only completed in February 2022, and the tender then commenced 1 March 2022.
Okay, thank you.